So we have a new episode for the podcast, and for this week we have new chronicles. We'll be talking with Ivana Mišković from Bosnia Herzegovina, and then we'll talk with Gabriel Vartopeanu. I like him a lot, but I have trouble with his last name. He will be talking with us from Romania, even though he works in Denmark. Complicated. You see, it's interesting. And we'll be analyzing also an open call for SURF. This is an interesting episode. If you're into writing projects, you can learn a lot with Gabriel. So I hope you enjoy it. Bye. Okay, so welcome back to InnovEU. Thank you for being with us, Ivana. Today we have Ivana Mišković, I hope, with us. She's talking to us directly from Bosnia-Herzegovina, and she has been doing European projects for some time. But Bosnia-Herzegovina, as everyone knows, is not a member of the European Union. So I'll start with that. When did you start? When was your first project?
So hi Fernando. My first project was in 2009 when I was employed in the ministry as an assistant for the implementation of EU-funded project that was funded through SEE program, Southeastern Europe.
So you've been doing European funded projects for all this time, but you're not a member. So is there some restriction? Is there some disadvantage for organizations that are not in EU countries? Or do you think you can just do exactly as I can?
I don't think there are some restrictions. Now in these days we have more programs at our disposal. Earlier it was only few programs like SEE or Adriatic Union in the first perspective from 2007 to 2013, and then in a second perspective from 14 to 20 we were added to some programs such as Danube and Adriatic. And now we have more and more programs in the new perspective from 21 to 27. We now have 3 cross-border programs, 3 transnational. And from this year on, we are also participating in the regional, in C component of the Interreg programs. And also we have a lot of EU programs that we can participate in, such as COSME, Horizon, Urbact, and many others.
Okay, that leads me to the following question, which is not an easy one. From your experience, do these projects have an impact on the country, on the region, on the people? Are they working?
Actually, yes. In my personal experience, when we don't have our own budgets, our own money for some major infrastructure project or some major societal changes, we are building some cooperations and trying to solve these problems with the European funds and European partners. First of all, it's not all about the money. It's also about the experience of the project partners who have been here before and know some solutions or pilot something that we haven't done yet. So I think the impact is through, of course, money and investments, but also through exchange of knowledge and practices in the Europe.
Okay, but you've been doing, you've done all those projects in the past, working for a private organization. Well, tell me about it.
When I started in 2009 and 10 till 2014, I worked within a ministry. It's a local government, Herceg-Bosnian County. I was an assistant on the project implementation from SEE and Adriatic programs. Later on, I stayed working within the government, but also I was engaged in last years in civil sector, in NGO as a project manager and as a trainer in one Erasmus project that we implemented together.
Okay. So what of those projects you worked on, what was your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Sure, we all do. My favorite was the last one that we implemented through the Erasmus cooperation. It was the VET sector and vocational education and training. It's the REACT project where we established a cooperation and developed trainings for project management and entrepreneurial skills, and educated 15 trainers and also 10 target groups, 10 entrepreneurs, and some of the public service employees in project management topics. Not only project management, but also EU sources of funding, some communicational topics, and also team building activities through the whole project.
You think that the project impacted the people who participated, the beneficiaries?
I think the approach was good. First, the trainers gained some skills, digital ones. It was the digital skills project. They gained some skills, and later on they were able to implement them during the next shift of the trainings, where they had different target groups to share their knowledge that they gained, and also to involve people in project management, because here in Bosnia and Herzegovina it's very important topic when people are always talking about EU funds, about projects, and there are a lot of people interested in these topics, and they didn't have a chance to learn about it more detailed or more in practice. So they were very keen in doing all those exercises that we did in Moodle platform.
Oh, that was the past. Now, in the present, you're working in a ministry. What are your perspectives for the future? What kind of projects you would be willing to work on? What kind of partnerships are you looking for?
So yes, now I work in the local government. As you know, Bosnia and Herzegovina has an entity, Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, which has 10 cantons or counties. I work in the 10th, in one of them. Now I am in the Prime Minister's office, and I am dealing with the EU integration and strategy development issues. We are building strategic partnerships. We are implementing the strategy of development, and also we are writing and preparing EU-funded proposals with international partners. Regarding the sectors, we have 8 ministries that have jurisdiction over few topics, including agriculture, tourism, culture, education, spatial development, also economy, and finances, and all other topics that governments are in charge of. So we are having a lot of sectors, and all through them we have topics like green agenda, digitalization, skills, capacity building, and all other soft activities that we want to implement. We are keen on having partnerships with also policy development, because as you know, we are now in the stage of accessing European Union, and we have a lot of work in this policy alignment. So I think it would be good to have a transfer of knowledge and to see how did other countries introduce these directives of the European Union into their legislation. So I think it would be interesting to see some solutions, and also to seek for our own remedies or our own solutions to implement it. And also we are looking for partners for some infrastructural projects in water management, in forestry, and many other topics.
Well, that leads me to three other questions, and I'm not sure we have time for all of them. So let me start here. From what you said, I get the impression that your previous experience with the projects you worked on serves you well. It was important for what you do today. Is that correct?
Yes, for sure, for sure. I have now grounds. I know all the sources of funding. We have previous connections with our partners. We really had good partnerships and good partners throughout this transnational cooperation. And now we are just moving forward, adding this policy alignment to regular activities.
So my next question is probably the hardest I asked you today. What do you think is most important? What's the main benefit a country like Bosnia-Herzegovina today, or Portugal 30 years ago, can gain from these projects? The capital, the financial contribution, or the human capital, the experience from the other partners?
I think the human capital is important, more important, because when you have people who are well trained and well educated, you can always ask, or you can always gain more money. It is important to have the finances. We all are facing this, but when you have trained people who will do a lot of projects in the future, who will develop some ideas and try to multiply the impact, I think it's much better to build capacities, human capacities, and then try to gain more and more investments and capital.
I agree with you. So one more question to finish. What will change, if anything? What do you think will change when Bosnia-Herzegovina joins the EU? In what concerns the EU projects, what do you think can change?
Well, first, it's not only about the projects, but also about the social situation, health services, and everything that will try to be better, to be financed and improved. Also, I think the people, we are doing some surveys in the country. We are all expecting better conditions, better educational systems, easier way to go to college to anywhere in Europe, or have access to these exchange programs, not only in EU but beyond. We all hope that the social and health systems will work properly. We have faced some difficulties in the last period, not only us, but the whole Europe. And also we are trying or hoping that we will have some investment projects that will bring modern infrastructure, not only roads, but that will bring a lot of tourists and a lot of new investments in local communities and local economies.
Okay. Let me just share with you that from my personal experience, I lived through this process of Portugal joining the EU, and all those sectors you mentioned, the infrastructures, education, health system, they're much better now. There's no comparison. The country really did a big leap forward after joining the EU. But I hope the same happens with you. And I want to thank you for these lovely minutes we could talk. your contacts will be on the episode's notes so that anyone who's interested can get in touch with you for further future collaborations and partnerships. And thank you, Ivana.
Thank you for asking. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles. Today we have Gabriel. Please help me with your last name.
Vartopeanu, V-A-R-T-O-P.
You made it
Vartopeanu.
clear why I need help. It's not easy for me. Thank you.
Yeah, the
So
pronunciation.
my dear friend Gabriel is talking to us from Romania, and he wants to talk about very important issues. But first, let us know or tell us a little bit about how you got into this activity. How did you start with EU-funded projects?
Simply, before such kind of activity, I work with. I was a researcher. I activated as an engineer electrotechnic as a researcher. When the institute, it means a research institute in Craiova, Romania, started to go down and down because of the, let's say, of the market, disappearing market as process after, let's say, the revolution in Romania. Something is wrong. Sorry, please. I was not prepared totally. So after revolution, the institute purely disappeared in terms of contracts, in terms of necessary products on the market, by disappearing of the common market of ex-URSS. Because we were part of those socialist countries, Romania was part of those socialist countries, and because of that, the market purely disappeared. That's why I've decided to go and study again on law after, let's say, years of studying. When I discovered that working as a law representative could be not so nice for me, I've decided to go into administration, public administration. I have had some high positions as director for European integration. It was the pre-accession for Romania, the pre-accession process. And based on that, I have had the capacity as a counselor for European integration in the Ministry of Interior, and after that, Ministry of Regional Development. I have had the possibility to be trained on project cycle management by the EU Commission. And finally, I became a Team Europe member, meaning a counselor, a specialist on project cycle management, project implementation, which way to prepare an application form, submit it, and so on. After, together with my friend, the Danish, let's say, president of European Training Center Copenhagen, we both decided that I should be part of ETCC, European Training Center Copenhagen, as regional director, and a little bit later, the vice president. That's the story. Simply the
That interrupted because there will be younger generations watching this, and they may have short memory on history. So just to make clear, you were born in a country part
a socialist
of
country, exactly.
Yes, and then there was a revolution, and then your country joined the European Union in what year?
1st January 2007.
7.
17 years before.
And before that, you changed your career?
Yeah, totally changed my career.
Totally changed your career, your training, and
yeah.
That's when you started working on European issues, and
correct.
Then you eventually became
I became a
partner
trainer
in many
on
projects.
Exactly. First, I became a trainer on new affairs and project cycle management. Also trainings as trainer on communication, on entrepreneurship, on business companies development, and issues like those very welcome issues for a new country, Romania, EU member state, into a new market. Together with the other 9 countries, it was a colloop of 10 countries, Bulgaria, Hungary, Slovakia, and many others, Poland. We together became EU member states. And on this way, the partnership, different partnership environments for all these countries purely became totally new partnerships, new perspectives. That's all.
So in this second career you now have in a different world, I guess, you know, I have similar experience in the other end of Europe, but in this second career you're having, you're now working a lot with the European funded projects and with building partnerships and designing applications, submitting applications, implementing projects, reporting projects,
evaluation projects.
Yes, all of that. What's your favorite part of this activity?
I prefer to go because many years I activated, in the last years I activated as a teacher into the university, because before, as an engineer, I also an associated university teacher on electrical drives, because my in Craiova, University of Craiova, and later on when I started with project cycle management as a study objective into the university, I continued, instead of delivering as a teacher, delivering electrical drives as a course, I've started to deliver project cycle management, EU affairs in general, which are the institutions of the European Union as Commission, the government of.
You'll have answered my question. What's your favorite part?
And the favorite for me, as I started to say a bit, is to evaluate projects already written, to evaluate in terms of sustainability, impact, quality of partnership, quality of work packages in terms of details, in detail descriptions, and also quality of outcomes. So it means I believe that I do like, according to evaluation criteria, to evaluate projects. I will also acted as evaluator of the international projects. And also to train a lot, to educate people in order to understand the substance of a project application, the substance of implementation, and so on.
So let me take that idea. Can you help us write better projects from that experience?
Once again.
Can you help us write better projects that will be better scored?
I can do it, not entirely, because I'm not good. I have to say, honestly, I'm not good into the budget description, budget preparing for an application. And I believe this is a very important part, a very important context to be described in details related to a project application. But related to what I said, quality of partners, meaning how to select the partners in order to respond to the substance of the application, which way the application should be submitted, quality of text. So, first of all, to identify the best as quality, the best project partners, to identify and to decide which ones are the most appropriate. I can do this. Also related to, as I said, especially how to describe in text, how to describe impact.
Don't go away yet on that subject. Please give us some ideas. How do you choose the best? How do you know who's the best partner for some project?
It's not so difficult, in my opinion. First of all, you have to be very clear in your mind. If you are the owner of project idea, it means that you should know from the very beginning what kind of work packages you would like to put in the application, in the written text, in order to make as relevant as possible the proposal, the application. If you know exactly what you want, what kind of activities as work packages to be written in the application, according to this, you should find out, because you have a databases with possible partners. You should know from your experience, based on your experience, based on your, let's say, already implemented projects before. You should know who the partners, the most appropriate, could have something in common, could come with added value to the project activities, to the work packages. And based on that, when you start, let's suppose your question was how to select in the best way the partners. That was the question.
Yeah.
So you should be the one to put together what you want to do with the project activities and look into the background of the partners you already have in mind to put in the consortium, to link their experience, their expertise, their background. If you know them, which way they can come with added value, link them with the work packages. Or simply, do they have the proper capacity in terms of delivering such their experience?
Let me interrupt you. That means that you should first write the project, and then
No,
when you have the project more or less ready,
you should, first of all, you should be able to produce the best project concept, the best project summary related to work packages, related to project outputs, outcomes, related to, let's say, in the projects related to the target groups. You should identify very well the target groups, because the project already implemented should answer to the expectations of the target groups. Which way, by implementation, a project will respond to the needs, already assessment, to the needs of beneficiaries, what they need with this, which way you increase their capacity, which way you'll help them. That's why you should be able, conclusion, to write the best project concept, the most relevant.
And that will help you choose
and that will help you to choose the best partner. First, to identify them, as many as possible, and later on to prepare a list in terms of those are the best. And
well, we can't go on forever with the interview, but I don't resist asking you another question about the impact. What advice do you have when we are writing impact? Simply, sometimes I get the feeling that you have to overpromise and say that you're going to do everything and more.
Not everything. No. Simply related to impact. The impact is related to whom? Impact related to which way the outputs will respond to the needs of the project beneficiaries, of the project target groups. Impact related to the environment, general environment. Impact related to the partners, meaning that which way the project will produce something in terms of output outcome to serve also the partners, to come with added value to the partners. So impact related to the needs of the market. If the project should respond, for instance, social needs, let's suppose that it will be a project financed by European Social Fund, in terms that the project will serve to beneficiaries in terms of social benefits. So can we measure the impact? For instance, new jobs created. This is an indicator from social perspective for the market. If the project will produce this, for instance, number between 2,000, 2,500 new jobs into a region of a country. I exaggerate, of course, in terms of relevance, but if it's like that, it means that the impact related to increasing the market, the number of products, by new jobs, the benefits, social benefits for the employees. So impact is already reached.
Okay, we can address the other parts of the proposal in other days because we are running out of time. Just registering that what you're saying is the success rate of the proposals you write can be greatly improved if you choose the right partners and if you explain what impact the proposal will have on target groups. Is that because the success rates are very low, as you know?
Really low, less, usually 60, 50, 55, 54. The maximum should be 100. And also another criteria, very important, is relevance of the project.
Mm-hmm.
What's the real meaning of relevance, and which way you write in the text about relevance, which way you describe how relevant a project will be by implementation.
Okay. Gabriel, we have to stop, but I'm still looking for an answer from you. What do you expect from the future? What are you looking for in the near future? What kind of projects are you involved or you want to get involved?
Yes, there are, in my opinion, actually, there are three very important domains where we can act. Related to digital reaction, it's clear that by artificial intelligence, many new projects will come and solve the real need of digitalization by artificial intelligence in order to increase the quality of services addressing large target groups. So, important domain in digital reaction of society related to the new technologies, artificial intelligence too. That's first. Second, gamification projects, meaning that the education should continue, in my opinion, by a new approach. Instead of going to the blackboard, in front of the blackboard and write on the blackboard and talk and not going in a process of workshop with your students, we do not continue to work like that. The idea is to work by gamification, meaning learning by doing, using these methods of gamification. For instance, you develop, but we do have 2 minutes more, 2 minutes.
2.
Okay, so gamification. You are in a biology discipline in a high school, for instance. You are a teacher, and you should explain about the skeleton of a libellula, if something like that does exist. In order to work by gamification means that with the digital board, you use the digital board linked by internet, you should take parts of the skeleton, put them there, and leave by a succession of questions, leave the students to answer question by question, and by themselves, learning by doing by themselves, to let each of them, to construct, to build by themselves in a digital way by gaming, by gamification, to let them the freedom to instruct by themselves, learning by doing. So gamification, now the second domain. And the third domain, in my opinion, also is cybersecurity. The risks, the major risks actually for those as users of digital technologies, the big risk is cybersecurity risk. That risk is the most important today, because the damages, the quantity, the quality of damages is so complex, the quantity is so big of risks, and on this way, by specific projects, different beneficiaries of digital technologies should be trained in order to understand what's the real meaning of a risk, cybersecurity risk, which way they can use different technologies as a treatment against cybersecurity risks, what kind of knowledge they need in order to make use of such technologies, and especially what kind of skills they need, they should learn about, they should become conscious about, in order to be able by themselves to face the cybersecurity risks which can appear day by day in their job.
Absolutely. And what's number 4?
What?
Number 4.
These are 3, I said.
Okay.
3.
Okay.
And number 4, in my opinion, and probably this is the most important, to get new skills, meaning that each day, if possible, you should be trained by themselves or by specialists. There are, in my opinion, there are 2 categories of training. Teach yourself, in my opinion, is the best, as long as you are enough adult and professional in your thinking to understand that there is a real need for you to be trained properly and updated, trained, updated, according to the reality, day by day reality, which is in a very dynamic process. It's changing day by day. You have, if you just consider you have a job and you'll be there for 10 years, 15 years, you are lost.
Yeah.
So the force is training, meaning especially exchange of knowledge, but especially skills. So get new skills as possible day by day, updated to the new technological context, to the new technological socially. Okay.
Okay, Gabriel, we have to stop. We will have your contacts, your contact information in the episode notes, as always. You are based in Craiova, Romania, right?
Sometimes here, sometimes in Copenhagen, sometimes in different areas where our projects are implemented. For instance, last time I've been in Valencia. Before I've been in Rome with other different tasks, but especially because my residence is a Romanian one, especially in Craiova.
Okay, so thank you very much for this time, and
thank you a lot.
Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you, Lou. Bye, Fernando.
Are you passionate about democracy, human rights, and the rule of law? The European Union has an exciting funding opportunity for you, introducing the SERV 2024 Citizens REM Transition Call. This call aims to support projects that focus on the democratic transition from authoritarian and totalitarian regimes in Europe. It seeks to commemorate these defining moments, educate citizens, and reinforce the values of democracy, rule of law, and fundamental rights. Who can apply? Non-profit legal entities, both public and private, as well as international organizations, are eligible to apply. For-profit legal entities can also join, but only in partnership with public entities, private non-profit organizations, or international organizations. Each proposal must involve at least 2 applicants, 1 lead applicant and at least 1 co-applicant. Activities must take place in EU member states or countries associated with the SERV program. Expected outcomes include increased awareness of European history, strengthened democratic institutions, digitization of historical materials, and enhanced engagement against racism and intolerance. The estimated available budget for this call is €1.51 million. The minimum grant amount is €50,000 with no maximum limit. Projects should have a duration of 12 to 24 months. Important dates to remember. The call opens on March 5, 2024, and the deadline for submission is June 6, 2024, at 1700 CET. For more details and to submit your proposal, visit the Funding and Tenders portal. Join us in shaping a democratic future. Apply now and make a difference. Visit the Funding and Tenders portal for more details.
InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles, is a weekly video podcast. Please subscribe to the Polixdocs newsletter to receive every podcast episode. And if you like receiving it, please press like in whatever platform you are watching or listening. Also, please share InnovEU and Polixdocs with anyone you feel will enjoy it. Credits, author and host Fernando C. Gaspar, music Hugo Gaspar, Lisbon, Portugal, 2024. Reach us by email or DM.